He's kind enough to join us for a few minutes here from Las Vegas. Looks good out there. Not quite like the Northeast over here. Calvin, thank you so much for the time. Could I ask, what was your reaction? It's the same question I asked Armin, because I know every fighter was sort of jockeying for this card, wanted to be on this card. It's a historic card. When you got the call that they wanted you on this card, what was your reaction?
Big opportunity, obviously, but coming off the year and almost a half layoff, the next fight was big to me no matter who I was stepping across from and no matter what card I was on. So big moment for me to come back after a long layoff and excited to put on a hell of a performance.
Were you expecting this? Like, obviously you don't know where you're going to land, but considering the layoff, considering the last two fights, was there a part of you thinking like, maybe they'll build me back up on a smaller card?
I never put too much my thoughts out there on what I'm expecting. I can't control all the bullshit. I just got to stay as ready as possible. And I knew the next one was going to be big, no matter who I was stepping across from. Like I said, I feel like I've been, the last two fights are kind of tough for me, where last one was an injury, and then the one prior, I felt like I won. So I feel like I should be on at least a 2-fight win streak plus the injury. It's just frustrating, man. It's not the way it worked out, obviously, and you can't put energy into what you can't control like that. But all I can do is focus on coming out and getting a strong rep on the next one and trying to get me a W here.
So the reason for the inactivity in 2023, was that because of the injury in your last fight in 2022?
Yes. Yeah. And I was hopeful, a little optimistic about trying to get on that Boston card with Rob, scheduled to fight on 292 in Boston in August. And really, I knew it wasn't likely, but I wanted something to focus on and jumpstart me feeling like I was getting back in camp. That would have been 8 months post-op. And it wasn't likely, but it did get things going. And, from there, it just kind of took longer to find an opponent and a place that made sense to step back in there. So here we are. It all works out the way it does for a reason. If I focus on all that bullshit, I'd be a little bit up and down all over the place. And all I did was just focus on getting better every day, and knew I'd eventually be stepping back in there and put in the work to be ready for when that day comes.
Mentally, how would you describe last year for you, not being able to compete, not being able to go out there and train for a long time, right? And what was the injury that you had surgically repaired?
ACL.
Damn, yes.
And that's a good question, honestly, where you said mentally. Where was I? Because that's what it is, man. It's a long layoff. It's a big mental game. And unfortunately, but fortunately for me, I had Rob kind of go through it not too long ago. And he was able to kind of give me some advice going through it and help kind of prepare me for that moment. And yeah, all I could do is just focus on recovery. My fight then became recovery for the last year and some change. So every day I felt like I was laying a good brick of just trying to be as healthy as possible for, like I said, the inevitable return. I knew I was going to be back in here one day, and the more I focused on recovery, the sooner it would be and the more ready I would be.
When did you start to feel like you were 100%, like you were back to your old self? How long ago?
6 months.
Oh, wow.
And that's what's the freaky part with ACLs. Yeah, because you feel better than you actually are is what they say, So how I felt like I was like August might have been a possibility, and then you kind of get out of that little bit of a honeymoon phase and you kind of start picking things up, and you got to kind of ease into that because, like I said, it is a honeymoon phase and it's short-lived. You're not as ready as you think you are. So I just had to listen to my team and the professionals. Shout out to Heather Linden at the UFC PI. Really kind of helped me a lot going through this injury, and the whole team really. But just telling me to be patient, and I couldn't be more ready now.
So obviously we talk about your placement on this card, your reaction, but the opponent being Aljo in his featherweight debut. What did you think of that when you were offered that?
Not much, to be honest. Wow. I mean, a little bit in the fact that he's a former champ. That's great, and you need tough opposition to get these big moment opportunities. So, shout out to him for making this fight happen on such a historic card. I'm blessed, honored, but it'd be the same if I was fighting anybody. The next fight's always the biggest, no matter who it's against, and I really didn't put too much stock into who I'm fighting.
Were you surprised that he was moving up?
A little bit. It's kind of funny. We talked about it where. It's funny that I'm fighting Aljo and Rob fought Aldo. We always thought it would have been the other way around, but the way it worked out, it's funny how things go. It's why you can't put too much stock in the future. You just focus on every day, who's next, what's next session, next opponent, you can't really go too far ahead. You don't know how things are going to play out.
You mentioned that Boston card, that was his last fight. That's when he fought Sean O'Malley. Were you surprised that the fight ended up that way?
I think Sean looked really good. I think he did a lot of small things very well in the little details. And I wasn't so surprised. I was definitely a little surprised, but I knew that was a possibility, a high possibility that could happen because, Sean's able to create that distance and make those shots land and those opportunities appear. And Aljo kind of walked right into those ones. So, but I thought Aljo would have made it a little bit more of a dogfight. But hey, that's the way it worked out.
Sometimes when people move up in weight class, it takes them a fight or two to get comfortable with the extra weight, the extra muscle, fighting bigger guys, et cetera, et cetera. Do you put stock into that? Obviously, you're not banking on that, right? You're probably going to say, I'm preparing for the best Aljamain Sterling, et cetera, et cetera. But do you believe in that it might take you a fight or two to get acclimated to the new weight class, especially when you fought at bantamweight for so long?
Man, you've done enough interviews with me. You know how I'm going to respond.
And others as well,
yeah,
not just you.
Yeah, you can't. You got to be prepared for the best version of them going out there. A lot of people would say, "Oh, year and a half, you must have some ring rust. You put too much stock in that, Aljo." It's like, who gives a shit? People say a lot of shit. What's going to matter is on fight night, and it can go one of two ways. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it end up looking like it did last August. So I'm prepared for a hell of a fight, and I would love an early finish, but prepared for anything that presents itself on Saturday.
Can I ask about your take on the state of the featherweight division since you last fought? Now there's a new king, right? There's a new face of the division, Ilia Topuria. What a superstar he's become! I just saw him with Leo Messi this weekend, hanging out with him. It's crazy how big he's become. Were you surprised he beat Alex, and are you surprised that how big he has gotten so quickly?
I'm not surprised at how big he's gotten. A win over a great former champ like Volk is huge for you. Pound for pound, best fighter in the world. And no, it's great to see the movement within the division. I remember just a few years back, it was at a standstill. Yair was dealing with injury and maybe suspension from USADA, things like that. Whatever, Ortega, he's injured. He was injured. He's back. It's good to see the featherweight division, top of it, busy again. It's exciting. It shows a lot of movement. It's good. It shows that, you need to stay ready at this point because anything can happen. A lot of movement. And it pays to stay ready.
Were you surprised that Max took the BMF fight at 155 and not the title fight against him?
No, because I like his rationale on that. You would think that Volk would get his shot, but then again, you don't really know because now it's tough to predict those things, But credit to him for going up and chasing another belt, the BMF belt. He's already been the featherweight champ before. He's about to conquer some new goals, new quests, and it's really cool to see him go out and go for that at 55. Against a crazy opponent like Gagey, man. What a hell of a fight that is. I feel like that's almost the real main event. That's the people's main event. Man, I'm really excited about that fight. Hopefully I can get my fight wrapped up and be able to tune into that one shortly after.
By the way, going back to your last fight, did you have the knee issue going into the Arnold Allen fight, or was it something that happened in the fight?
No, I went for a flying knee. And when I had his head going for it, he moved and it kind of shifted my weight on the landing and it buckled on me. And then there was short time in that round, I believe like 15, 20 seconds left. And, I covered up, withstood the damage in that last short end of the round. And then he was staring at that knee and I was kind of bouncing up and down. I was ready to do a jump in the middle of the round. So I'm like, I'm good, motherfucker. I'm fine. And good thing I didn't do that because I probably would have ate shit before I stepped out to the second and looked like a jackass. But I ended up going out in the second round, telling myself I was good. You got to kind of shut that bitch voice up in your head, especially in the fight. It might be talking to you, And turns out, a quick leg kick to the front leg shifted my weight to my back leg, and my back leg was the one that was affected. Buckled again. I hit the deck, and the hardest part on that was just not being in denial that I was injured, because the best way to describe it is like I still felt healthy. We barely threw really many punches in that first round. It was going to be a 5-round fight. I felt like we were just getting going. I felt like a Ferrari engine in my chest, but I had a flat tire. You know, I just couldn't move. And just trying to it was in denial that I wasn't able to compete because I felt so good. It's just this damn flat tire. And then going down the cage on the way out, they were trying to give me crutches. I'm like, no, I'm good, and buckled again on me. I'm like, fuck, give me the crutches.
Fuck. Do you regret anything? Do you regret pushing it? Do you think you did even more damage to it?
Tough to tell, man. I can tell you so many times that I pushed through that pitch piece and it's worked out for me. You know, only thing I would say for regret was not taking the crutches maybe on the way down the cage stairs and trying to not be in denial of the injury so much when it first happened. But, man, we're fighters, man. We fight everything. You know, the opponent on the outside, the opponent within yourself on the inside. You know, I'm ready for war every time I step in there. And it was just tough to kind of push past the fact that I had to accept being injured and then let alone the long layoff. Like you said, man, it tests you mentally, and it speaks to a lot of things that these guys, like you said, talking about the mental health stuff. Dustin Poirier, you know, going deep on it, both going in on it. It's good to hear these strong voices talk about things like that. And, you know, we all have it, those highs and those lows. And I'm just excited, man, more grateful than ever to have a big opportunity to get back. And I'm coming into this fight with just a little bit more gratitude, man. And I usually have it, but this time it's a little bit more special. And then you add in the historic card of UFC 300. I'm excited to go and compete.
Was there a part of you that feared that you may never get back to this point?
I mean, you know that clip where Kobe talks to Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
And they're going over that ACL injury and then all those doubts he had. I've kind of had that roller coaster ride of emotions, but man, I'm feeling mentally strong now that I got this opportunity to get back and I'm ready to go deliver a performance worthy of such a historic card.
I love it. Well, I wish you the best. I don't wish the best to the Celtics coming up or any of your Boston teams. I hope they fall flat on their face. But I wish you the best, Calvin. I'm looking forward to that. I hate the freaking Celtics, all right? The Knicks are coming for your ass. I know you're a Pats.
It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Probably. But welcome back. Kudos to you on making it all the way back. I know we talk about it for 2 minutes here, but people don't see the grind day in and day out. That's a long freaking stretch. So well done, and good luck to you on Saturday. Can't wait for this fight.
Appreciate it, Ari. Always good talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. There he is, Calvin Kattar of the New England Cartel. He's selling some T-shirts also on his website. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.